These are the 3 parts that I teach every golfer who I help shoot lower scores and improve their handicap, and you can do the same thing after this video. We're talking practice, and we're talking about making sure that your practice actually carries over to what you're doing on the course, and the 3 different parts that I use and I add to every golfer's practice plan, whoever I'm coaching, to make sure that they're getting the result they want from the time they're spending on their practice. Because I've been there, I'm sure you've been there as well, investing hours and hours and hours into our game and feeling like, well, I'm putting in the practice, but the score is just not showing it. I don't think there's really anything else in the world right now that we can do to put in that many hours on the range or in the short game area or the putting green, then go out on the golf course and get nothing for it, no result, nothing whatsoever. Like finding a way to solve that problem is probably one of the biggest things that golfers can do, because I get it. It's very frustrating to spend hours and not get anything for it. And I want to make sure the opposite is true. I want to make sure that rather spend as little as time as possible in the driving range or the short game area or the putting green and then get the biggest results possible. And to do that, we need 3 different things. Number 1, we need to hit every shot we're hitting with purpose. Of course, we can warm up and just hit a few wedges, a few full shots, trying to get the body loose and get going. But once we're done with that, we want to have a purpose for each and every shot. Now, most golfers I meet on the regular, they have no purpose for any shot, and then they go out on the course where they have a purpose for every shot. And again, we're kind of doing this weird kind of art on the golf course, on the driving range, and then we're trying to actually play golf on the golf course, which is going to give us a pretty special result. So having a purpose for each and every shot you hit is going to be very powerful and is going to change the game for you very quickly if you start doing it. Now, purpose can be very different things. It could be a certain feedback on your technique. It could be a certain target. It could be a certain swing thought. There's a ton of ways to kind of get purpose with your shot, but having it more like the way you're playing is going to be a big game changer. And that doesn't mean that we're not going to, again, spend time practicing technique, hit like 100 balls in a row with the same swing thought. We're going to do that, but we want to do that with quality, not quantity, which means that we have to have a purpose with each ball we're hitting. And think about it, the more purpose you can bring to each shot, the more it's going to be like the way you're playing the game out on the golf course. Because I'm pretty sure that you're setting up to every golf shot you're hitting on the course like it means the world to you, right? You're always trying to make the most out of each and every swing, and that's what we want to do on the driving range as well. So much rather hit 20 golf balls with a great intention, a great purpose, than hit 100 with no purpose and no intention, because that is really going to get you the results you would like to get. Number 2 is something that I teach every golfer I coach, and that is the fact that you're not practicing to become better in practice. You're practicing to become better on the golf course, which means that you don't have to feel as good about your practice as you might think you do. And what we mean by that, and you can probably get this from your own experience, is a lot of golfers I teach during a lesson or when seeing them on the range, they're kind of on the hunt for that perfect feeling all the time. They want to feel like everything they're doing is perfect, and believing that if I only hit enough perfect golf shots, we're going to have a great result from that. And what that becomes is kind of giving you the idea of being a lot better than you are, to be honest. Because if you're hitting 10 7-irons in a row, I hope and I believe that all of you watching this are going to hit the last 7 are going to be a lot better on average than the first 3, right? The problem is when you go out on the golf course, you're going to play with the first one, not the last 9. Hopefully you don't even have to hit a second one, and we want to get that shot better, the first one that's going to count, rather than improving numbers 3 to 10, right? But if we want to do that, and we're practicing a way of doing that, and again, adding some intention to it and some purpose, is going to be a great start. But to do that even further, we have to be very, very comfortable in being uncomfortable, because if we're going to do more of that, more practicing like we're playing, we're going to hit a lot more bad shots in practice. But that doesn't really matter, does it? If we're aware of the fact that we're right here, right now, practicing in order to get me playing better golf in the long run. I'm here today on a Tuesday to perform better on Saturday when I'm out playing. Then we don't really care that much about our bad shots, right? Or if we don't have that great of a feeling. It's a big ask, but it's going to be a big, important thing to change. Like, I'm not here right now in the driving range trying to get better right now. I'm trying to get better in the long run. If we can get better in the long run, that's definitely going to help us make sure that those 20, 30, 40, 100 balls we're hitting, but we're not afraid of actually messing up and we're not afraid of not feeling 100%, is going to give us the most return when it comes to our progress in results in the golf course. But if you're stuck in the feel that you have to create this perfect kind of vibe on the driving range or on the short game area each and every time, chances are we're doing practice that's not really giving us something in the long run. It's just making us feel good right now. So dare to let go that kind of feeling of hunting the perfect and much rather go for the long-term positives. And of course, I'm not saying we don't want to hit good shots, but we have to be open to the fact that it doesn't matter if you hit more bad shots than good shots if we're doing it with an intention, an idea where we want to go in the long run. And that's very important to understand. And step number 3, which I love, I bring this up for a lot of golfers, and you should probably be doing this each and every practice session you're doing, each and every warm-up session, I'd have you hit a few shots with your full routine. Now, we call it the ABC routine. I borrowed that from the guys at Golf Guru, which means acceptance, breath, and commitment. Which all comes down to that before you take your shot, you have to accept what kind of shot you're hitting and what the possible outcomes are of that shot. You can use your breath to keep your nervous system and your adrenaline under control and kind of keep your feelings under control in that very moment. So usually we're nervous and your breath can help you control that. But also you have to be committed, right? We all know the feeling of being committed to a shot, and it's also the feeling of not being committed to a shot. So if we can accept, use our breath, and commit to the shot, things are going to look a lot brighter for the chance of that being a well-struck shot and through that a good result. But we also have to practice it. If we're only doing it on the course and not in practice, well, we're not really practicing what we're doing on the course, right? And of course, we don't have to do that for each and every shot we're hitting, but adding some of that to your practice session or some of that to your warm-up is a game changer for a lot of golfers. What I usually do is, let's say you're hitting 30 balls to warm up for a round, I'd have you hit 8 or 6 of them with your full routine by the end just to get some reps in. And the same goes if you're hitting, let's say, 50 golf balls for practice, I'd have you hit the last 10 going through your full routine, full ABC process to help you pretty much get to where you want to go and get more used to, again, practicing like we would like to practice and getting the results we would like to see by, well, making them more similar. So I can still be doing it with a great purpose, a clear intention, but I'm adding the ABC core, rather than the ABC process to that to make it even more like the way I'm playing. All these 3 things are something that golfers I teach and I help shoot lower scores and improve their handicaps are using in their games on the daily or in their practice in the daily whenever they're on the course. Because they're tired of hitting the range, hitting the short game area, spending an hour or 2 and not seeing any results from it. This has given my players great results and I'm happy to introduce it to you. And as long as you're using it, parts of it or all of it, I bet that your game is going to improve and definitely your practice is going to get a lot better and help you shoot lower scores and improve your handicap.